Most entrepreneurs or founders try and fix their energy the exact wrong way. That's the reason they stay stuck feeling exhausted and tired no matter what they try. Did you know if you take your car to the gas station with a broken fuel tank, doesn't matter how often you try and fill it, it's never gonna stay full. Sounds obvious, right? But here's what most people don't realize. When it comes to energy, most people are doing this exact same thing. They try to fix everything at once. More supplements, more hacks, more workouts. All these things really do is make them more stressed, more exhausted, and more close to burnout. You lose motivation because nothing seems to work and your nervous system gets overloaded, so things actually get worse. A year ago, actually, this was me. I was basically living out of my van. I had no structure, no control, no real discipline. You could say I was very stressed and honestly a bit depressed. And it wasn't until much later I realized something. I wasn't broken, I wasn't even ill-disciplined, I just didn't have the right energy systems. I was actually fixing my energy in the wrong order. Fast forward to today, my energy, my clarity, and my ability to perform is at a much better level. Honestly, things have completely changed and it came down to probably one main framework. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact 3-phase system that I used with myself and with the clients, designing to completely rebuild your energy and set yourself up with the right systems going forward. This isn't random hacks. Once you understand this, you'll see why nothing worked before. Okay, so here's the key idea. Energy isn't random, it follows a sequence, a specific order. Stress affects sleep, sleep affects hormones, and hormones, of course, affect your ability to recover fast and your metabolism. And that's going to be a big part on how much energy you actually feel. So if you try to jump ahead, like adding intense workouts or random supplements, before you address the foundations, then the whole system collapses. So I'm Thomas, I'm a doctor, and I've watched this system repeat over and over again. I've seen founders, successful CEOs who've basically at the point of burning out, very successful people, but they don't have these right systems, so it just repeats over and over. So instead of throwing new habits, new hacks at this problem, we're going to rebuild the system. Most people approach low energy like this. They drink more coffee. They buy new supplements. They force harder workouts or force themselves to be more focused when they're working. They push through fatigue and hope things will turn around. But in reality, here's what actually happens. Stress piles up, sleep quality drops, hormones dysregulate, recovery tanks, and motivation crashes. So instead, why don't we rebuild in the opposite direction? So here are the headlines. We're going to reset, rebuild, then rewire. So let's get into it. Let's break it down. Phase 1 is reset. The goal here is simple. We're going to stop all those leaks, all those energy leaks. Before we even think about trying to gain more energy, we want to stop the energy leaks in our lives. The first place we start with a lot of people is sleep. So we look at the sleep anchors. Waking up at the same time every day. And when you wake up, getting natural light, cut caffeine out, following some simple but important caffeine rules like not having it after 12 noon. And then very importantly, especially if you're a high performing entrepreneur, you need a clear cutoff from work, from business, and a very structured wind down routine. This is your opportunity to decompress, de-stress, and get ready for sleep. These aren't just nice ideas, they tell your nervous system it's time to actually relax, get into parasympathetic mode. What does an effective wind down routine look like? Well, anything that tells your body, your nervous system, it's time to relax, it's time to de-stress. So the most important first step is cutting off social media, cutting off distractions, notifications, and then you can focus on things like having a warm shower, doing a bit of light stretching or yoga, meditation or mindfulness, even reading a book. It's not about being perfect, it's just about sending signals to your brain to de-stress, wind down so you can get better sleep. Finally, we remove obvious drains. So this is your late nights, your 7-day work weeks, things that ramp up your cortisol and cause that feeling of burnout and exhaustion. Most people as high performers, they want to add more and more. If they're stressed about their business, they want to just do more, push past it. And they do this instead of focusing on what's actually creating the problem, creating the chronic stress, which is going to affect you negatively, affect your business negatively, because you're not going to be focused, you're going to be sleep deprived, you're not going to be full of energy. I worked with a client recently, a successful YouTube community owner who was struggling to wind down before sleep. He would often push his business, his work right up until late at night and then fall asleep straight away. He was only getting 5 or 6 hours of sleep, waking up feeling exhausted, constantly pushing through this sleep deprivation. And he was wondering why he always felt tired, why his workouts he couldn't give his all, and why he just didn't feel refreshed when he woke up. We didn't add anything when I worked with him. We just focused on his sleep anchors. We created a clear cutoff time for no more work, putting away the phone, and a very simple to follow wind down routine. Once he was able to execute this, he was able to de-stress, get to sleep faster, and he actually was able to wake up with energy that he could give throughout the day, not feeling stressed or worn out, but actually like he wanted to work and enjoy it, and his work was more productive. Again, it comes back to that mindset. We're not trying to earn more energy, get more energy. It's focusing on stopping the leaks. So once baseline recovery is back, you're sleeping well, you're not constantly stressed, then we move on to the next phase. Phase 2 is rebuild. This is where we build durable, repeatable energy. My favorite thing to start off with in this phase is zone 2 training. So what do I mean by that? It is conversational pace, whether it's a run, a cycle, a swim. It's cardio-based exercise that gets your heart rate sort of around the 120 to 140 zone. You're able to have a conversation, it doesn't feel too hard, but it gets the body moving, it releases those endorphins, actually has amazing longevity benefits like lowering your cholesterol, improving your VO2 max. This is the foundation I like to focus on first. It's the next step. And then we move on to the step after this, which is strength training. Ideally 2 to 3 sessions, 20 to 30 minutes each week is going to be amazing for longevity. Studies have shown that people with stronger grip strength, which is just one measure of strength, tend to live longer. But in the short term, lifting heavy weights, giving your muscles that stimulus is going to increase your energy on a day-to-day basis as well. Next, we think about your nutrition basics. Enough protein and fiber, consistent hydration, not these constant snacking, high sugar release with these energy crashes. No extreme diets, actually fueling like someone whose body is important. And the big rule here with nutrition is consistency beats intensity. So what diet can we enjoy? Can we look forward to and maintain over the long term? And that really applies to everything. So with exercise, with diet, with sleep, we want to make small changes that are going to last consistently and build it into our identity. To be honest, if you go hard too soon, and I've seen it in clients and in myself, you're going to go back to phase 1 and the cycle will just repeat itself. One of my clients I worked with went from inconsistent training, constantly starting and stopping, to finally building something that actually lasts. And it wasn't pushing really intense. It was just building really slowly, like 1 or 2 sessions more per week. But he was able to maintain that and build slowly on top of that. After a while, he found this really easy to maintain and he was able to then push on from there. And his energy was completely different to when he started. I like to think energy behaves like fitness. It improves gradually and systematically. You can't rush it. Okay, that brings us to phase 3, rewire. Now we make the habits automatic. And this, to be honest, is where most people fail in the long term. Not because they're lazy, but because everything depends on their motivation. So in phase 3, we install the systems that bypass the need for motivation. And it doesn't matter how you feel on a day-to-day, you've got these systems in place which become automatic habits. Some of the systems we teach and implement to clients, to founders. Number 1 is habit stacking. So attaching new habits to existing autonomous ones. So maybe you always go to the toilet every time you wake up. Maybe you can link that with a new habit like stepping on the scales, being aware of your weight every morning. So as soon as you've peed, gone to the toilet, step on the scales. That's just one example. Another system is environmental design, so making things easy. If it's in your immediate environment, you're gonna pick it up. For example, a book. If your phone is out of sight, it's not in your immediate environment, you're not gonna get distracted. So simple things like this, just with designing your environment, is gonna be really effective for you. And having a system where you are aware of your habits and what habits you want to introduce, and actually reviewing how your week went, what you struggled with, what obstacles you had, is a really important habit in itself because it allows you to analyze what's working well, what's not, what to focus on, and to really track your progress. And the most important part, I've touched on it before, is identity. So moving towards the sort of person who does these habits consistently without even trying, without even needing the motivation, because that's just the sort of person that you believe you are. So moving from someone with the belief, I'm trying to be healthy, to I'm the sort of person that protects my energy, therefore I tend to eat healthy. Or even I'm training for a half marathon to I'm a runner. Remember, the reason why we implement these systems is because the motivation fades, but identity is more permanent. And when your environment and your identity support these good habits, you don't have to try anymore. You don't have to rely on motivation. So you're probably wondering, does this simple 3-phase system actually work, and what kind of results would you expect to get? Well, the results I've found and with the clients that I've been working for are the following. Sleep becomes consistent, better quality. Your HRV, which is your heart rate variability, tends to climb as you get de-stressed, have better sleep. And that's a good marker of better recovery. And that leads on to recovery improving, feeling more energetic and ready for that next workout. Therefore, training becomes easier and not draining like it used to before. Mood tends to stabilize instead of these peaks of energy and crashes. You're more consistently energized. And of course, as an entrepreneur, work output tends to increase. You're more likely to have more focused, productive work, deep work, and you might actually find yourself working less but more productive. I've consistently seen this in clients that I've worked with who've gone from on the verge of burnout, de-stress, poor sleep, to fixing their sleep, bouncing back, being more recovered, and having deeper, more productive sessions. And I don't think it's because they're trying harder. I think they're just paying attention to the right systems and implementing them. So recap, here's the exact framework. Reset, stop the leaks. 2, rebuild, create durable, long-lasting energy. And rewire, create the systems and make the habits automatic. And don't try and skip a step, because you're more likely to go back to burnout and need to go back to phase 1 again. Most people will watch this and think, that makes sense, that's some good value. Maybe even give me a like or a subscribe. But if you really want to implement these systems in a fun way with other like-minded founders, builders, entrepreneurs, you can participate in weekly challenges that are designed to introduce these systems to allow you to live better, more energized. So you can do that simply by clicking on the link to join the free community. And if you're one of the few people that are really ready to take action and want to work with me one-to-one through implementing these systems for extra accountability and a personalized approach, you can do that as well and book a call with me. Actually, at the moment, I'm taking a certain amount of people through a 3-call series for free designed to optimize your energy. So yeah, I'd love to coach you through it, and I hope for anyone else that you just got some value from the video, and yeah, consider subscribing if this was something you thought was valuable and want to see more of. Thanks again for watching. Goodbye.